Hey, this is Ben Alexander. I have a house located in the upper part of Pennsylvania, and I'm here today to blow your mind. Back in the early 1990s, I got a brilliant idea. I was going to use our lightning fast 486 computer to make a living from home, even though I didn't know anything about programming or the internet. But I did understand the power of compounding and leverage. How about you? Let me ask you a question. Would you rather have $1 million today or a penny doubled every day for 31 days? I hope you chose the penny doubled because after 31 days you'd have over $21 million. I think that's well worth the wait. I looked at many ways to double my money and thought trading penny stocks would be worth the old college try. Why penny stocks? Because I could afford lots of shares. I wanted to get the most out of what I had, and something huge had to happen for a $30 stock to go to $60, right? But a stock going from $1 to $2 gets little attention, right? Guess what, though? If it did, you just doubled your money. I ended up trading penny stocks and futures for several years. I had to rebuild the old 486 several times, and we got our house in the meantime. Here's one of the charts I picked out of 10,000 other charts that constantly go from $1 to $10 every 4 years. When I got in, it went to $30+. That was the down payment for our house. I also traded currencies and realized something crazy was going on with the US dollar and gold. How can they print trillions of dollars backed by nothing and still drive the price up in the markets? It'd be like Microsoft selling a zillion shares. The value of the shares would get driven down. Common sense, right? There is a cost for all this money printing, though, even if the charts don't show it. Your cash will have less value next year. Here's a chart of all the money borrowed or printed. Notice how it doubled while Obama was president, and it went from 10 trillion to 20 trillion. This money was borrowed from the Federal Reserve, which is a private bank, and it's supposed to be paid back with interest. This money printing madness is not just in the U.S. People all around the world are getting anxious because they want to preserve what they worked their whole lives for. You heard it right. Deposits, investments, and 401ks are in serious trouble. You may think the next clip is crazy, but even the psychics are talking about a global meltdown. This is Deborah Katz. She teaches remote viewing, something I learned about in the Reader's Digest book that the military actually used.
Do you feel, or is there a feeling, because I've spoken to psychics and they've got this feeling that there's a great change coming?
Yes. Well, what I can say is that I recently did a session with a client, and he's interested in the stock market and what's going to be happening with it. And in fact, we're just getting together. He's not paying me or anything right now. We're just kind of getting together and looking at what's happening. And when he asked me to identify when is there going to be a drop in the market, and so I looked at that, and it seemed as if not too far in the future there would be. And I couldn't tell exactly what was going on, but what I was doing was looking for signs of what's going to happen around that time. And it looked like there were some massive protests, and something is going to come out in the U.S. where the people overall are going to realize that they have been completely lied to. And what I saw was people coming out of their houses. It seemed like some people in a city environment, and people were in such shock over this revelation of what we thought was true but isn't, where they were almost paralyzed with complete, like, what do I do now? And there were some other signs as well, but basically at that point it looked like there was going to be, because there was so little faith, there was going to be a complete drop in the market. And it looked like there was something going on with our electrical grid as well. It seemed as if a lot of people suddenly lost electricity, and that was something that was, and it seems to be tied into politics. That's why I brought it up. But again, I got bits and pieces.
It's funny, other people have remote viewed the same thing.
Really?
They've remote viewed I've heard that. Yeah, I've actually heard that. Power outage. Yeah, absolutely. And being lied to. But I wonder what if it's wow. And why would being lied to cause power outages? I mean, unless there's some other big things going on.
The other thing I think is that it has to do with in the United States being completely broke. Like, I mean, we already know how much we're in debt, right? I mean, we hear about this, but it doesn't seem to have much meaning. But there was something about that the level of, as if there is no more money left, like the level of that was somehow realized. And that was, time is a challenge for myself, and I know a lot of other psychics, but I did kind of feel like it could happen around like the winter months. Okay. But then, is it this year or another year? I'm not sure.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. I do believe a change is coming, but I don't think it's. I'm now thinking it's not World War III. It's not like that, but it is a change.
The history lesson I learned was all man-made money backed by nothing eventually fails because of overprinting. A great example: Germany's money crashed 2 times in the past 100 years. It's a fact. More money has been printed or borrowed than our governments and politicians can ever pay back. And what's the weird thing I noticed about gold? It's the complete opposite. It's safe, secure, and its demand far outweighs the supply. In fact, it's common knowledge that they actually trade fake gold shares in the markets. Is it because there's not enough gold, or do they do it to keep the price down? The next clip explains why gold is a gift from God, especially now. Later, I'll share with you how to get these gold bars without using your out-of-pocket money. And don't forget about that penny doubled every day concept.